Oh, hello there. I didn't see you come in. You might wonder what I'm doing here in Liam's top secret fort, which I cannot tell you the location. But it has just been my bane to come here in the quiet and study scriptures. And I know that obviously this is a Wednesday night at 7 o'clock, 7:25, which looks very different than our normal Wednesdays at 7:25, but I wanted to offer a worship experience. So this is gonna look a little different. We will be uploading more things on the channel as they come available. You might have Emma whacking Liam with sticks and Thomas holding the camera and that sort of thing, but this is all just gonna be part of it. But as I've been kind of thinking about our time together, I guess in our time away, one of the things that I've been kind of pondering on is just that we are in the beginning of a new journey. And we don't know exactly what it's going to look like. Obviously, it looks very different than the past. Usually when I teach on Wednesday, I just have you talking, interrupting me, not a yappy dog up above me on this retaining wall barking at me. But...
barking at me.
Oh, at you? Excuse me. But obviously our time together is going to look very different. So I thought that for the sake of tonight, I would start things off in the beginning. And when you read the Hebrew scriptures, it starts out in the very beginning with this creation poem. And it tells us all about God creating everything. And if you read in chapter 1, it starts with the beginning of nothing and God speaking, and all of a sudden there being creation. And after every creation... Yes, and after every creation that God makes, there's a brief second where he steps back and he says, "This is good." And the imagery of this, I think, is absolutely beautiful. You see God creating things, and he sort of gets into this groove where he makes something, and he steps back and says, "This is good. Heaven's good, stars good, sun good, earth good, animals good, sky, man, all of these things good." These things that God has created are pleasing to him.
I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
Okay, and give him joy. There is so much beauty in all of his creation. But then in chapter 2, we see something where God actually steps back, and it's the first time in all of creation where God says, "Hey, this is not good." And in Genesis chapter 2, verse 18, it says it this way: "The Lord looked and he said, 'It is not good for man to be alone. So I will make him a companion, a suitable helper for him, so that he will not go through this life alone.'" And this to me is fascinating. There's something about a person being alone that causes God to step back and pause and say that this is not good. There's something inside of us that is wired for relationship. We need other people in our lives. We were not designed to go through this life alone. God made us to need each other. He made us to need relationships. And this, I believe, is because we are created in the image of God, and this is who God is. God is ultimately relationship. We come to this understanding as the Trinity of three beings intertwined, so interconnected as one, that they are in constant relationship. And out of that, even though we view them as separate, they are one. Father, Son, Holy Spirit, in such close relationship with each other that we view them one. And this to me is what creation is. It's an outpouring of God's love and desire for connection and relationship. This is who God created us to be. We need each other. We need friends. We need family that care, that connect, that go through this life with us. Just as loneliness was not good for Adam in the garden, it's not good for us now. So what does this look like? Obviously, in the last week, things look very different than they did before. And in the weeks to come, I have no idea what it will look like. But I do know that we are wired for connection. We're wired to be in relationship with each other. And whether it be a physical presence of Liam and Emma running about, being over there, who knows where, hopefully being safe, or Thomas sitting behind me holding the phone, we are wired for this. And even though we physically cannot be in each other's presence right now, I think we're still called to relationship. We're still called to be there, to connect. So reach out in this time. No, you can't hold someone close like you used to. You can't give them a hug when you see them. But we can still hold each other close. Whether it's through a text, an email, a snap, or a written letter. Good grief, I've actually done a few of those today. We're called to hold each other close and to be there with each other. And whether it's simply something like creating a YouTube channel, like a Hack Youth YouTube channel that we're going to be uploading who knows what to in the weeks to come, or sending someone a call, or just letting them know that you miss them, we still have each other. We are part of a community. We are part of a group of people that love each other, that care for each other, and are with each other on the journey. So reach out, lift each other up, hold each other up in prayer, and know that while you are doing that, that we are with you. That Jess and I are praying for you, that we care for you, that we love you deeply. And that Liam and Emma, Liam! Come pray! Even though they have no idea what's going on, they miss you. We care for you. You are our tribe.
Daddy,
you
what do you want me
are
to do?
our people. Did you want to pray?
Oh.
We love you.
We love
Whatever this looks like in the moments to come, we love you. We care for you.
We love Dylan and all the other youth.
Dylan and all the other youth. Did you want to pray?
Yeah.
Let's pray. Go ahead, buddy.
I hope that we all have a good day, and I hope that we have a good night, and I hope that we might buy some things that we need, and I hope that it has a good tomorrow day.
Good morning.
Amen.
God, we love you.
Ow!
We know that you are creator, that you are all powerful, that even in the midst of our understanding and our doubt and the things we are worried about, that you are in control. So God, we give this time to you. Give doctors wisdom, give officials wisdom. Help us to know the best course of action to keep your people safe. But also remind us that you love us. Remind us that we are not alone. That in the midst of our isolation, that you hear our prayers, that you hear the cries of our heart, and know that we are not in this on our own. God, we love you. Thank you for the gift of life. Thank you for the gift of this journey. Be with us as we go. Amen.